Okay, Algebra. The last few days we've spent dealing with fractions, knowing what they are, and finding common denominators. Now we're going to be able to put some of that to use as we look into adding and subtracting fractions. So there's only three things that we need to note here. The first one is that we need to find a common denominator, and I'm going to show you why with a little bit of a visual presentation as soon as we're done with this slide here. The second thing is that we need to add or subtract the numerators of the fractions, and then we need to leave the common denominator as it is. So we're going to turn both of our numbers into a fraction with the same common denominator, and then we're going to do our operation only on the numerator, and then we're going to leave the denominator the way it is. So let's jump in here. Let's say we want to add 1/2. We'll start kind of easy here. We'll say we want to add 1/2 plus 1/3. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put these as rectangles. So I'm going to have my 1/2 here, and I'm going to have my 1/3 here. So these rectangles are about the same size. They both represent 1. So I'm going to have my half right here, and then this one is going to be in thirds. Okay, so what I actually want to do is add this 1/2 right here to this 1/3 right here. Actually, I should use a different color. So I want to add that 1/2 to this 1/3 here. And that's pretty hard to do right now because I don't have the same denominator. So this is my 1/2, and this is my 1/3. So what I need to do is find a common denominator, and the way that we're going to do that is the way that always works. We are going to multiply them together, and 2 times 3 is 6. So my common denominator is going to be 6ths. Now watch this though. I'm going to turn this same box with the half in it into thirds. So now I've got halves and thirds, and notice I've got 6 boxes. So now instead of having 1/2, I have 3/6. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here with my 1/3. I'm going to add a line that represents my 1/2 there. So now instead of having 1/3, what I actually have is 2/6. So now let's make a new box. And we can actually add them up. So let's see. I had my 3/6 in purple. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then I had my 2/6 in red. So it looks like my answer should be 5/6. And notice that if we add this 3/6 to this 2/6, 3 plus 2 is 5, and then we kept that numerator, not the numerator, I'm sorry, we kept that denominator exactly the same at 6. So in purely number terms, we can say that 1/2 plus 1/3 is exactly equal to 3/6 plus 2/6, which is equal to 5/6, and that's our final answer there. So this shows you numerically how this works, and this also shows you kind of visually why it works. Okay, let's do another example here. Let's start a new page. Sure, let's upload. Why not? Okay, we've got a new page. New page, new problem. This time let's do some subtraction. And it's going to work the exact same way as addition. You're going to find a common denominator, and then you are going to subtract the numerators. And let's do this here. Let's go with, how about 3/4 minus 2/3. So go ahead and try that yourself, and then I'm going to show you. Okay, let's look at this. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did last time. I'm going to draw a box. That's not my box. I'm going to draw a box. This box represents 1. This box represents another 1. And we are subtracting this time. So let's see, we've got fourths. So I'm going to draw my fourths like this. 1, 2, 3. So now I've got 4 boxes, and I want 3/4, so 3 of them are filled in. And then over here on this other box, I've got thirds, so let's do this one long ways. So now I've got 3 strips here, and I want to subtract 2 of them. So let's put this one in red. So we're going 1 and 2. So I want to take these 3 purples minus these 2 reds right here. And I'm going to do this the exact same way that I did last time. I need a common denominator, and I can always find that by multiplying them together. Sometimes that's not going to be the smallest common denominator, but it works really well for the process of this visualization. And as you go along, you don't have to do every single one of them like this. Once you get the hang of it, you can just do it in numbers if you want, but it never hurts to actually draw out what you're doing. So let's get our thirds into here. And notice now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 boxes, and 4 times 3 is 12. So that's where that's coming from. So now instead of dealing with 3/4, I am dealing with 9/12. And let's put our fourths into our thirds here. So we got 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. So now instead of dealing with 2/3, I'm dealing with 8/12. Okay, so let's see. My brain just froze for a second there. There's my equation button. 8/12. So now we want to subtract these two. And if we do it just numerically, then what we're going to have is 9 minus 8 is 1, and we keep the denominator the same, so this is going to be 1/12. But let's actually look at this here. Let's make a new number 1. So this box still represents just one whole. And what we have is, whoops, wrong color. Our purple, so 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9/12, and what we're going to do is subtract 8 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now, essentially, anywhere where I have a purple and a red, that's been subtracted, so that's basically 0. So let's erase those, and let's see what we're left with. And we're only left with the 1 purple, so this is equal to 1/12. Okay. Make sure you bring any questions to class, and we'll get some practice on this, and I'll see you then.